Very good evening. Thank you very much for choosing GHOne TV. My name is Kweku Temeng. It's always a delight when I join you in the evening with the latest happenings throughout the country. Well, let's assure you tonight, because we are your election hub, we'll bring you all the topical political stories that you're looking forward to. Away from that, we'll talk business. We'll bring you some more local stories on social issues, and then we'll delve into some entertainment. Now, don't you forget that Benghazi would be joining us with some updates from our world of sports. So be my guest and stay with us. But before we bring you all the details, let's look at some of the top stories that we have for you tonight. In the next 60 minutes, opposition NDC accuses MPP flagbearer of superintending over alleged corrupt award of contracts to his brother. Also coming up tonight, Institute of Economic Affairs announces dates for this year's presidential. Opposition NDC's reluctance to participate. Also ahead, Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values demand expedited action on writs against the anti-LGBTQ+ bill before the Supreme Court. Now we shall engage the group for more on this. And ahead in business, banking experts say apology from Finance Minister on the domestic debt exchange program is a little too late. So tonight we'll hear all these stories and we'll bring you many more from our world of sports. We'll also engage you with some entertainment news and fill you in on the international front. Just stay with us as we bring you all these stories and many more. Well, this is your EIB election hub, and my name is Kweku Temeng. Well, we'll bring you some political stories shortly. In politics tonight, flagbearer of the National Democratic Congress, I'm talking about the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has called out the Akufo-Addo-led government for the poor handling of diplomatic relations between neighboring Burkina Faso following the recent insurgency in the West African region. While speaking during a press engagement dubbed Mahama's conversations in Bolgatanga after his 4-day campaign tour of the Upper East region, the former president stressed the need for close collaboration with neighboring countries to curtail any external threats to Ghana.
We know what is happening in Burkina Faso. Indeed, we should be working closer with our comrades in Burkina Faso. Unfortunately, this government has created some tension between us and Burkina Faso because our president went and opened his mouth too wide. You saw the video. He went and was doing concern about your neighbor. We all are here. We are suffering. America called you small, and you are so excited, and then your neighbor, you are doing concern about him, you know. And so it has created some diplomatic tension. He went there, went and apologized, but still, it's not the best. So when government changes, we have to go and talk to our neighbors because we must work together. Indeed, the whole anti-terrorism strategy of this sub-region was done in Accra. It's called the Accra Initiative. And so we are the hosts of that initiative. So we must be reaching out to them and seeing how we can collaborate with them in order that we quench the fire in their houses. Because if there's fire in your neighbor's house, you don't help him to put it off, it will spread to your house. And so I think that we must improve our relationship with Burkina Faso. At the same time, we must also strengthen our surveillance and security so that in case it comes into our borders, we are able to deal with it. And that is also the reason why we must solve the Boko crisis as quickly as possible.
All right, so on this particular story with the tensions between Ghana and Burkina Faso, as being said by the NDC candidate, we would want to reach Ghana's ambassador in Burkina Faso to share his thoughts on that particular story. As and when we are able to raise him on the line, we'll put him on and he would address some of the issues raised by the former president. Well, it's now time for us to bring you details on Insight. Well, Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. Let's take the details tonight and hear the National Democratic Congress is accusing the NPP government of what it calls unbridled corruption and inflation soul sourcing projects to the detriment of Ghanaians. Well, at its regular Moment of Truth series, National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, called out the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for supervising inflated sourcing contracts, especially for the Sunyani Airport Rehabilitation Project and the Kweku Road Improvement Program Phase 2 projects.
At the heart of the thriving phenomenon of corruption is the issue of dubious and overpriced sourced contracts, which has become a norm under the corrupt Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. This canker of overpriced sole-source contracts is causing the nation to lose billions of cedis, which could have been invested in productive ventures to create opportunities and prosperity for all Ghanaians. This is a sad situation our dear nation presently finds herself. As we speak, sole sourcing has become the norm and the most preferred method of procurement for several dubious contracts awarded to relatives and cronies of the Vice President Alhaji Bawumia. A number of sleazy and overpriced sole source contracts have been awarded to a company called Resource Access Limited, a company owned and run by Bawumia's blood brother called Abraham Bawumia and his wife Kaminska Bawumia. First on the list of sleazy, dubious, overpriced contracts awarded to this company is a contract awarded for phase 1 of the rehabilitation of the Sunyani Airport project at a cost of a whopping 52.25 million Ghana cedis. For emphasis, ladies and gentlemen, this juicy contract was doled out to Bawumia's brother through sole sourcing in the year 2019 without any transparent or competitive process. Apart from the overpriced Sunyani Airport Phase 1 rehabilitation project, 2 juicy Kweku Road projects were also awarded to Bawumia's brother's company, Resource Access Limited, through sole sourcing at an inflated cumulative cost of 83 million Ghana cedis, equivalent to 830 billion old Ghana cedis in the year 2020.
All right, we'll just not leave it there. We'd want to get some answers to these accusations by Sami Jemfi. Now let's get a reaction from the government, and Dr. Pelgrave Boache Dankwa is the government spokesperson and he joins us for a conversation on this matter. Pelgrave, thank you very much for your time tonight. Let me find out from you. So the NDC says 87% of Kweku Road Improvement Program contracts were not procured through open competitive tendering. Why is the MPP government opting for sole sourcing instead of competitive tendering?
A very good evening to you, my dear brother, and a very good evening to your viewing public. and to discredit the NDC press conference on Moment of Truth, that every single statement that Sami Gyamfi has made does not reflect the very image and character of the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I have seen that in recent times, the NDC have sought to bring a lot more attack on the character and integrity of the flag bearer of the new patriotic party and incoming president of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And every attempt that they seek to do that falls on very dead ears. There is no evidence whatsoever that these roads and these contracts that Sami Gyamfi is purporting has gone through sole sourcing. I am aware that every single contract that has been given is given through the PPA. Every single contract that is given, people have an opportunity to do competitive bidding, either on a local level or an international level. I'm aware that even contracts that people do not have an opportunity to bid, those are very specific contracts that are given because of the very unique abilities of those companies and those organizations. And I'm not surprised that the NDC is at again, because every attempt that they have to make to be able to bring into disrepute the character and image and integrity of our Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, they will do it and smear it at him. But I want to let you know on record that there is no proof of any corrupt activity, or there's no proof of any sole sourcing whatsoever that has been given to any relative of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. All these are lies, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation to cause dissatisfaction amongst the Ghanaian populace.
No, let me get this straight, because you've mentioned it, but I would want to point directly that the NDC is accusing the vice president directly, that's the vice president, of allocating juicy contracts, not ordinary contracts, juicy contracts to his family. Now they cite Resource Access Limited, which belongs to his brother. I'd want to find out if you know this Resource Access Limited, and if it really does belong to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's brother specifically, and the wife, as he goes ahead to mention their names. Can you say that this company belongs to them in the first place?
The vice president of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has very clear mandate that has been spelled out in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and very clear mandate that has been given to him by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And one of those mandates is not to give contracts to people. One of those mandates is not to do soul sourcing. The very clear mandate that has been given to
Dr.
Vice
Palgrave,
President.
so I asked if the company,
the Vice President, from President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and from the Constitution.
No, so I asked if the company that we are talking about belongs to the Vice President's brother first. I just wanted to establish that.
I do not know, to be honest, because there are many companies in this country. Ghanaian citizens have a right to be able to own companies. The Registrar General is there for people to register and own companies and do business in Ghana, to be able to develop the country and to be able to also make sure that they have a livelihood in Ghana. And I think that the continual posture of the opposition party, that if you are related to people in government, you don't have an opportunity to do business in Ghana.
So, Kumasi, I beg your pardon.
Just in closing, okay. I cannot confirm if this company that you're mentioning it belongs to the brother or the cousin or the relative of the vice president. But what I can say very clearly on record is that the vice president has clear mandate by the Constitution, very clear mandate from President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and one of that is not to give contracts out through sole sourcing or through competitive bidding. There's an agency that does that through PPA, that does, and it's very clear. If people want to find out, our government has put together RTI, people can go and request for and find out the truth of this matter.
All right, so the final part which I want you to clarify, Kumasi Airport Rehabilitation Projects, I just want to find out somewhat within the bracket of 52 million Ghana cedis. Do you know if this project probably and this allocation went to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's brother? Unfortunately, I don't know if Dr. Pelgrave is still on the line. I might have lost him in the process, but you can join us on our social media platform, obviously making your voice heard on some of the questions that we have put through. As and when we'll get in, we will be able to put him on the line. But we'll still have some more stories on Inside tonight. And here, flagbearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, that's the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has concluded his campaign tour of the Upper East region as part of his re-election bid. Well, during his visit, he emphasized the NDC's commitment to regional development and policies for job creation through the 24-hour economic policy. Abdul Hanan Adam has more.
Are you ready for 7th December?
The former president, John Dramani Mahama, has wrapped up his campaign tour after visiting 32 communities across 15 constituencies. The tour culminated into a mini Deba at the Ramsey Stadium in the Borgastanga Central constituency, where he addressed an enthusiastic crowd, igniting hope for a better future after the December 7 elections.
Where Ghana is, we need an experienced driver to move the car out of the ditch, put it back on the road, and drive us safely to our destination.
Throughout his tour, the NDC flag bearer outlined his vision for the country at every stop, emphasizing why he believes the electorate should choose him over his opponent.
Bawumia cannot investigate Akufo-Addo's government. Bawumia cannot investigate a government of which he was part of. And so they are desperate to have him so that they'll escape the day of accountability. That is not going to happen.
His message focused on economic revitalization, job creation, and social infrastructure development, promising a new direction for Ghana.
In addition to our infrastructure record and what we're coming to do in infrastructure, our priority is going to be jobs, jobs, and jobs. Our priority is going to be about employment. And that is why we're coming with the 24-hour economic policy. Because the 24-hour economic policy is going to incentivize businesses to work for longer hours. Now, if businesses are working for longer hours, they cannot use just the number of employees they have. They have to add additional employees.
Campaign spokesperson Joyce Bawa Muktari expressed confidence that the electorate would endorse John Mahama in the December polls, highlighting the positive reception and support observed during the tour.
You know, I have watched, I have followed the conversations. I am convinced, judging by the repertoire of broken promises in this region, that the raison d'etre for which people would nominate or elect to vote for John Dramani Mahama and, of course, Nana Jino Pokwajima will largely be because, first and foremost, they are trustworthy, they are an experienced pair, they are credible.
With election date approaching, all eyes will be on how his campaign strategies will evolve. For GHOne News, Abdul Hanan Adam, Bolga.
And right here at Platinum Place, my name is Kweku. Temeng, some more political stories. And here, Pro Forum, a group of professionals associated with the National Democratic Congress, has urged the Member of Parliament for GHOne, John Peter Amewu, to use his last days in Parliament to push for the continuation of work on some abandoned projects in his constituency. Well, at a press conference held in GHOne, the group cited a $160 million project on the Fodome campus of UHAS as an abandoned project started under the Eswa Mills Mahama administration, and tasked the MP and government to complete them before the December 7th elections.
In 2021, President Akufo-Addo, as part of his tour of the Volta region, visited the GHOne campus of UHAS, located at Fodome, to inspect ongoing works on the project, which was to provide lecture halls and all other ancillary facilities needed to enhance teaching and learning in the university. But since that visit, nothing significant was done on the project, estimated to cost $160 million, a project which actually began under the erstwhile NDC government.
Regrettably, with the change of government in 2016, the NPP abandoned the permanent project of the school, leaving it to rot in the bush. All efforts to draw the current MP's attention to the plight of the school have proven futile. There has been no instance where the Honorable John Peter Mau raised the issue of educational development in Howe on the floor of Parliament, despite knowing the economic and social benefits that come with it. The residents of Howe municipality, students, faculty, and administration of the University of Health and Allied Sciences (UHAS) are deeply dismayed and outraged about this development.
The group also accused John Peter Amewu, MP for Howe, for failing to honor several promises he made to the people of Howe prior to the 2020 elections. The poor roads leading to the Howe township are also a major concern for the group.
The residents of Howe to travel on the bad roads leading to the town and within the town, as if it is not enough for many pregnant women to lose their babies plying the poor roads leading to the town. We want to thank Togbegan Gambusu VII for representing the voice of the people by urging the road minister to fix the roads upon his recent visit to Togbegan's palace. Togbegan's plea to the minister only counters the claim of the sitting MP, so-called Messiah, and his followers' claim in the media space that he had made Howe a Dubai. We want to add to the voice of Togbegan to urge the minister to construct the roads as he promised Togbegan.
The group further urged constituents to do away with John Peter Amewu and go back for the NDC and its parliamentary candidate, Efo Walanyo Chekpo, at the December polls to ensure rapid development of the area.
All right, so the Institute for Economic Affairs, I'm talking about the IEA, says it will hold presidential debates in October and November 2024. Well, the Institute says it will hold 2 presidential debates respectively in Kumasi and in Accra for flag bearers selected based on electoral criteria to be set and announced by the Institute. Well, the debate will provide candidates the opportunity to articulate their policies and also point out their weaknesses in the policies and programs of their opponents. Well, this comes on the heels of accusations from the opposition NDC of doing the bidding of the governing MPP. But addressing the media in Accra, Director of Research at the IEA, Dr. John Kwabna Kwache, said they are determined to organize the debate.
What we did was to announce our intentions, to organize the presidential debates this year, as we have done in previous, elections. Of course, whilst we put out the announcement, we were still engaging with the political parties and their candidates. But of course, that process takes time. So you cannot wait until you have engaged fully with everybody. We have a timetable to meet. So that's why we came out to announce our intention to organize a debate. Of course, we all saw the reaction from the NDC. Apparently, because our announcement followed the Vice President's call, the current Vice President, call for a debate with the NDC candidate. Somehow, the NDC suggested that we were doing the bidding of the MPP. But we issued a rejoinder, denying this and saying that we were following our own program. So if it followed the Vice President's call, it was just a mere coincidence.
Well, also speaking at the press briefing, a distinguished fellow at the IEA and the former Chief Justice Sophia Kufu said the Institute will ensure that debate is credible and not to favor any political party.
Throughout the history of these pre-election debates, IEA only plays the role of an honest broker. The IEA is completely devoid of any partisanship in whatever it organizes, in all the work it does, and particularly with this series, with these series that we have been doing since 2000. IEA is a forum, provides the opportunity, sets the stage, sets the questions, and whoever is invited to participate, if they choose to participate, is going to get a fair shake. It was rather sad that such an accusation should even be thrown at IEA, and that's what I simply want to add.
Right, so that's about all we have for you on Insight tonight. Insight is proudly brought to you by Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. Well, thank you very much for keeping faith with us. If you're just joining us, this is News Tonight on GHOne TV. My name is Kweku Temeng. We've been bringing you some local stories, and let's stay on more subjects as the National Coalition of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values have bemoaned the slow pace of hearing of the anti-LGBTQ plus bill. Now, they want the Supreme Court to expedite action despite the legal vacation. On July 17th this year, a 5-member panel of the Supreme Court of Ghana, chaired by Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Sakito-Konu, deferred ruling on 2 cases brought to it, seeking to restrain Parliament from transmitting the pro-family values bill to the presidency. Well, the panel stated that they would incorporate their ruling on these cases into the final judgment. The group is urging the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal to sit during the legal vacation to hear the case, considering the sensitivity of the public interest. Now, let's go over the phone lines and get chairman for the Advocates for Christ Ghana and member of the Governing Council for the National Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values. That's Edem Senanu for more on this particular development. Well, Edem, thank you very much for your time tonight, sir. I'd want to find out from you, so what are your concerns, especially around this time?
Well, the major issue is that looking at the number of months to the end of the year, if the judiciary do not expedite the hearing of these cases, there's the likelihood that we will not have a final conclusion on this matter. And if we enter 2025, the bill will go dead. We would have to start the process from scratch. That's 3 years of investment. Members of Parliament travel to other countries. 176 memos, over 100 amendments. That's a lot of work to be thrown out of the window and to go to waste. And so we want to urge the judicial system, as is done in other jurisdictions, to make sure that hearings continue.
All right, so Adam, you've engaged me tonight on TV. I mean, you've advocated, but we want to find out. So, yes, the slow pace might probably be on because of legal issues, but what will be your next line of action if the president doesn't assent to the bill?
Well, at the moment, as you know, we're with the judicial system, and so our eyes are on that part of the governance architecture. At the moment, there are plans to have a peaceful demonstration within the next 3 weeks if we do not see or get any feedback as to how this issue is going to be settled in terms of the hearings. So, yes, together with the parliamentarians, we met with the chief imam last week. We saw some of the traditional chiefs. We'll be mobilizing the 90% plus Ghanaians who have a stake in this issue to be out there peacefully demonstrating and saying that, you know what, you need to make sure that processes in terms of efficient and speedy justice delivery continue even during this legal break.
All right, so Adam, just within 30 seconds for somebody who has not followed closely, can you just package where we are now and what should be done within somewhat 30 seconds just to help the education on it? Where are we now?
We are at a point where we have many jurisdictions in the Commonwealth that continue to offer judicial services during the legal vacation. And we are encouraging and urging the judicial system of Ghana, led by her leadership, Justice GHOne, to ensure that hearings continue so that the right to justice of the citizen continue to be promoted, respected, and fulfilled in Ghana.
Adam, thank you very much for your time tonight, for spending some time with us. Our network will be available anytime you'd want to be heard on these advocations. You can always follow on GHOne TV. Now, in other stories, as part of efforts at ensuring that healthcare delivery in Ghana meets global standards, the government, through the Ministry of Health, has launched a 5-year strategic plan for nursing and midwifery. Well, the plan, if implemented successfully, will lead to the improvement of midwifery and nursing workforce through quality education, job creation, service delivery, leadership, governance, research and innovation, and partnership and collaboration. That's more in the following reports.
The comprehensive framework outlines the ministry's vision and strategic direction for nursing and midwifery over the next 5 years, with a focus on improving the midwifery and nursing workforce through quality education, job creation, service delivery, leadership, data governance, research and innovations, and partnership and collaboration. The event held at the Ministry of Health Auditorium on Wednesday, August 7, 2024, with the theme, Sustaining the Gains to Accelerate the Achievement of Universal Health Coverage, saw the participation of key stakeholders in the healthcare sector. Speaking at the event, the Deputy Minister of Health, Alexander Kwesi Akwa, indicated that the strategic plan will improve healthcare in Ghana and not just the nursing and midwifery profession.
The launch of this strategic plan is not just a milestone for nursing and midwifery professions, but for Ghana's entire healthcare system. By empowering and supporting our nurses and midwives, we are investing in the health and well-being of all Ghanaians and accelerating our progress towards universal health coverage. This strategic plan will serve as our roadmap for the next 5 years, guiding us towards a stronger, more resilient and more effective healthcare system.
The Deputy Minister, in an interview on the sidelines of the event, also noted that the strategy will help curb the high rates of brain drain in the nursing profession.
If nurses see the way forward in their professional practice, if this strategic plan has taken care of the progress of nurses, then they might definitely want to stay behind and ensure that the progress as outlined by the strategic plan gets to their time, so that they also get some progress in their professions. Most people want to move for greener pastures because we have not put in place certain measures to retain them.
The introduction of the strategic plan is exciting news for the president of the Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Perpetual Ofori Ampofo. She tells the media the plan will be helpful to the profession in terms of meeting global standards.
It's important that we train according to our needs, or if we are training more, then it will mean that we train at the level where we become more competitive when it comes to the global front, and then people can be exported or they migrate to work in other places and are able to earn what indigenous of such countries.
Well, all is set for us to bring you the latest happenings from our world of business at this moment.
The business segment is brought to you by Bills Microcredit Limited.
Have staged a demonstration, and they are calling on the government to, as a matter of urgency, ensure the Electricity Company of Ghana what it describes as outrageous monthly tariffs affecting the them joined demonstration earlier today, urging ECG to address their concerns. Well, some of the affected customers, most of whom are non-commercial consumers, households, have outstanding bills ranging between some 2,000 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis. Now, these staggering amounts, according to them, are way above their consumption. Well, the group, after the demonstration, presented a petition to the Denu District Manager of the Electricity Company of Ghana and made a couple of demands. Well, Faisal Abdul Idrisu is our man on the ground, and he joins us for a conversation on this. So, Faisal, thank you very much for your time demonstrating on ECG bills, amongst others. What can you report on from Denu?
Well, Kweku, these customers we are talking about are persons who are using postpaid meters in the Cattle South Enclave. But this issue stretches far away to residents in Akachinov, South Tong, that is Sugakope, Keta, and almost everywhere within the South. Now, their concerns are that for some time now, they've been receiving bills that ECG describe as estimated bills. And these bills ranges between 2,000 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis. Like I said, these are persons who are using the electricity for non-commercial basis. They are using it in their homes. Some are saying that they have, for instance, just a fridge and a bulb in their rooms, and it is costing them that much. Those who run shops are also telling us that in some of their shops, they don't even make 1,000 Ghana cedi profit at the end of the month, but they have bills ranging between that amount, that is the 2,000 to 10,000. These are monies that are way above their consumption, and they are not able to pay that. This morning when they were demonstrating, they told us that the recent meter reading software that ECG introduced, which is the sports billing, it's an electronic software that actually captures the consumer's consumption. That particular software is actually the cause of the anomalies they are actually suffering from. So they are urging the Electricity Company of Ghana to take a closer look at these issues and address them promptly. They made a couple of demands. One, which has to do with first correcting the anomalies. Two, also undertaking an audit of the meters they are using, because they allege that there are several meters in the area that are actually illegal. They brought these meters from Nigeria and Togo. They allege that some staff at ECG and others are doing that, and government is losing so much money. So they should undertake an audit throughout the area and make sure that persons who are selling these illegal meters, quote unquote, are arrested and brought to book. They are also asking ECG to actually ensure that they promote respectful customer service. They allege that several times they go to the district office and they get abused verbally, especially the elderly persons. And so they are urging management to ensure that they actually reorient their staff on how to handle customers. The other issue is the issue of criminality, which they say that several staff at ECG are engaged in one form of criminality or the other, which is actually bringing to them some form of hardship in terms of the amount of money they are supposed to pay. So they are asking ECG and government in particular to ensure that these issues are addressed. They actually told us today that if they don't get their concerns addressed promptly, they may head to court to get the company to act. Manager for ECG Denu actually received that petition today and gave them assurances that the company will take a closer look at their concerns and make sure they are addressed.
Faisal, thank you very much for the updates from Denu in the Volta region. We'll follow up with the ECG, and I'm sure as and when we have more information to share with our cherished viewers, we will be updating them on it. I'll still stay with business as the Individual Bondholders Forum has rubbished the apology by the Finance Minister over the domestic debt exchange program, asserting the move was premeditated. Well, the Finance Minister during a town hall meeting apologized for the financial haircut, describing it as a necessary evil. Well, We have more in this particular SOT. Let's take a listen to him.
We decided to restructure our debts because it was one of the requirements by the IMF. We started with the domestic debt exchange program. The domestic debt exchange program was a very successful program, achieving 95% participation. And on this note, I would like to appeal to the people of Ghana to forgive us. To forgive us. It is never the intention of any government to impose hardships on its people. More so, the MPP government that has demonstrated that we want to reduce the burden of the Ghanaian people. And I will show why this government has, from the beginning, tried to reduce the burden of the Ghanaian people. That same government cannot impose hardships on the same people. It was a necessary, very important decision at the time that if we avoided it, our economy will not recover such as it has recovered today. The decisions we made and all the support you gave us, the people of Ghana, during the DDEP has contributed largely to the recovery our economy is seeing today. And this is why I want to appeal to you to forgive us. But also to thank you, the people of Ghana, to thank you on behalf of the president for the sacrifices, for the efforts that you all have made in participating in the domestic debt exchange program that saved our economy. And so I thank you very much for that support you gave to the government.
But banking consultant Dr. Richmond Etuahene has described as too little, too late the apology by the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, over the introduction of the DDEP. Well, Dr. Etuahene insists the apology is just a political gimmick. Well, he spoke on Newsroom earlier today.
No, people don't sympathize, let alone empathize with the suffering people of Ghanaians. They can easily talk about apologies, but if you encounter the poverty level, let me tell you, when we started with these financial sector risk fraud, whatever we call it, the poverty level in Ghana was 22%. I'm told, reliably told by World Bank team that by 2024, we're going to get to about 33% and get to about 37%. It means that people cannot even have one square meal. One square meal. That is what I'm talking about. So all the English and the data they are presenting, it does not fit into the realms of Ghanaians reducing poverty, people able to eat 3 times a meal. So for me, whatever they've said, I haven't seen it and I don't want to see it because it hasn't been done to the benefit of the entire country.
Well, that's about all we have for you in business tonight. Bill's Microcredit is saying that if you need a loan, you just need your Ghana card. Come over and they will ensure they give you the loan. That's about it. A big thank you to them for making it possible for us to bring you business. Looking forward to enjoying more from Parry as you bring us all those updates. Well, that's about it for tonight's bulletin. We're grateful for your time. We'll be coming your way with some more stories early tomorrow morning. On behalf of the entire production team tonight, we want to say a big thank you to you. But just before I go, a gentle reminder that you bring the family together after having dinner and ensure you brush with Pepsodent. With Pepsodent, every smile matters. My name is Kweku Temeng. Enjoy the rest of your evening.